Hello everyone. I'm going to do a viewer question. One of the comments that was made on one of my videos. And he writes, I want to know if you advise young men to abstain from planning to have and raise children with their children's biological mother. You point out some MGTOW men going their own way are actually MGM men going monk. But I haven't seen enough of your vids to know if you agree with MGM men going monk or specifically with their agenda to reject the nuclear family. So he doesn't know if I'm for the nuclear family or if I'm not for the nuclear family. And so this is what I wrote. What you talk about is the definition of the traditional relationship, marriage. This is where the male agrees to and promises to be exclusive to one female and to serve her in all her needs to meet her biological objectives, not his. Okay, so that's what quite often that's what the net result is going to be, that any traditional relationship is going to automatically be for her and for her to meet her biological objectives, biological determinism that she basically functions under. The male wants romance to conquer the female sexually and to inseminate her, nothing more. And if you're going to be honest with yourself, then you're going to agree with that statement. I'm pretty sure, because that's certainly what I want. I actually want nothing to do with kids, even though I have 2 kids. And I absolutely detest traditional marriage. I detest the idea of the family. Call me sick or what, but I don't go for societal norms any longer. I mean, at one time I was a very young 25-year-old, and I was under the impression and brainwashed into feeling that to define yourself as a man, you must accomplish this whole traditionalism viewpoint and orientation that society pressures you into following. And back then, of course, just think, we were all unaware, and we didn't see the larger picture. So therefore, we went along with it and defined ourselves accordingly. Being a man consisted of proving yourself in being able to sustain, establish, maintain a traditional family and to reproduce. Now, it is undoubtedly an achievement for sure to do that. However, it is not the defining factor of being a man. And if you're going to go that route, you're going to be a very unhappy individual. So, keeping going here, if you're going to be honest, what does the male want? The male wants romance, the female sexually, the perpetual honeymoon period, right, is what a guy wants. And when the honeymoon period is over with one female, then in the most natural way, a male wants to jump to a new female. That's why variety is essential for every male. And you know, in this society, and because of gynocentrism, we are suppressed from reaching our objective, our biological objective of getting a variety of women, as many women as possible, as many women as are available. That's why men are opportunistic. So the man wants to see her periodically but regularly, to seminate her repeatedly, but mostly if there are no other new females available. You know, a lot of the times men don't initiate divorces. They don't initiate the termination of any relationship because, you know, men are practical in that sense. You know, why get rid of a pussy if it's going to be available when you need it? If there's nothing better, it'll do, right? If there's nothing new. This is, of course, very bad news to the original female. Within marriage, the man is pressured to agree and sign a contract which will be an unnatural and uncomfortable state for him to live under. The conditions are such that there will be no commensurate returns for him, for the man, right? Because any relationship, what I didn't realize when I was 25 is that any relationship I enter, and I had a previous cohabitational relationship prior to my marriage, and I still was not smart enough at that point. I mean, who was, right? I mean, sure, 25-year-olds are running around today and they become educated by MGTOW and are aware of it, but back in the late 80s, there was no such thing, right? So we didn't know. We were still very much under the pressures of traditionalism, and that pressure came from every conceivable angle, including television, even at that point. The world has changed tremendously in the last 20 years, 30 years, 25 years. So, as I discussed in my previous videos, a man's natural agenda is it's in a very different direction than that of the female. And the female has no concept of this. The female thinks that what she wants is exactly what a healthy and a good guy is going to want. They're going to have exactly the same objectives, biological direction, and if she really feels she needs kids, she wants kids, she's a natural mother, she wants to nurture her kids, she automatically thinks that the man is going to want the exact same thing. And why the hell would he not, unless he's a sick motherfucker and he's a piece of crap, right? Well, the truth is, girls, is that is not what men want. In fact, men want the complete opposite of that. And this is where the huge incompatibility lies from the very first moment male and female set their eyes on each other. From the very first moment. Okay, so basically, the man wants one thing and the woman wants something totally different. Their future aspirations are completely different. And what happens from the very first moment? Deception from both sides has to take place in order for both sides to gain um, whatever they want. Both sides have to want to gain their own agendas. So deception is the only way to go. And you say, oh, isn't that awful? But it happens in every single relationship, just because biologically men and females want the opposite, the actual opposite. So this is very bad news for the female, that, to realize, and very few men are going to be knowledgeable, and very few men are going to have the courage, have the guts, and have the sincerity and honesty to tell the female, I don't fucking want that. I don't want kids. I don't give a shit about babies. I want a girlfriend. I want to take you on a trip. I want to fuck you 3 times a day. I want to have a great time. Men are not going to say that. And if they do, because they're too afraid, because if they do, the female is going to penalize them. They're going to withhold any type of emotional closeness. They're going to withhold sex. Literally, a female dries up, and dries up physiologically, literally, and also dries up emotionally. And to live with such a female is a very uncomfortable and nasty situation. And those females become very, very nasty because they're very self-serving. And they're very much driven by biology. And I know there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to say, well, my girlfriend doesn't want any kids, or I have met a lot of chicks that just wanted to fuck for fun. Well, no. What you got to do is you got to train yourself to look below the surface. And once you look below the surface and you analyze these females or these scenarios, you will find that there's some kind of aberration that happens. Either they're damaged somehow, they have certain fears, they are insecure in some ways, they are in denial in some ways, they are protecting their own emotions, they're protecting themselves emotionally, and that is why they are behaving differently than what the normal, healthy female archetype dictates. And that is what makes you want to brag that you have New Walt saying that not all women are like that. That is why you are tempted to redefine female sexuality, because you have an aberration, you have an anomaly there. You don't have a healthy functioning female there. If you have a healthy functioning female, then it's actually bad news for the male, because it's a very predictable pattern that females and males function under. And that's what you gotta look for, that pattern. So please look below the surface and you will find the answer as to why this woman or this man is different and not going for biological determinism. They're not under that influence, that pressure of biological determination. The condition is such that with any relationship, naturally, this is the normal course of action, that there will not be equal, commensurate returns for the male. So anything you run into, it's going to be all for the female. And she doesn't give a shit about that because she thinks that's normal. This is what really bugs me about women. Women just automatically believe that that is exactly what a man's role is. That's what defines a man. And if you don't do everything to meet her needs and biological objectives, then you're the biggest piece of crap in the world. And the female collective will feel the exact same way about you. Okay? Because a man's role is to be very grateful to be chosen to serve a particular woman. And according to that woman, only one woman in your entire life, until she decides that she no longer needs you anymore, or you are no longer fulfilling your role. Then you can be thrown in the garbage, of course, and a lot of men are thrown in the garbage. But she feels that it is your obligation and it is your natural destiny to serve her. And that's fucking arrogant. And the reason MGTOW is so important, and this is what bothers me and upsets me about the men of MGTOW and the men who are claiming to be going their own way, is they fuss among each other. And you have to understand, you know, who is true MGTOW and who is not, and you are this and you are that, and and you have to understand that other men, especially men who are taking part of MGTOW ideology and who are following it, regardless of what relationship status that they're in, just the fact that they're listening to these videos and they're reading this literature, and they have this great awareness, even if it's a newly acquired awareness, you got to understand that these men are all on the same side. They are not your enemy. Your enemy is female nature. Your enemy is not the state. It's not feminism. It's not political correctness. All that is a product of one fucking thing. And it's the despicable female nature. It's an ugly, ugly way of behaving in the world, and it's an ugly way of behaving towards the opposite gender males, and it's still socially acceptable, and this deplorable mindset and behavior is revered obviously throughout society and the church and politics, and it is being used by politics, and it is praised, it is put on a pedestal. So your only enemy here is female nature, and this is why I keep saying that be proactive. Don't just go on YouTube and start arguing and getting into a pissing match with other men. That's not going to get anywhere. You're just standing in one spot and not moving. You're stagnating. Be proactive and choose any opportunity that you have to expose female nature. The worst fear of any woman is for you to put a mirror up in front of her face and show her who she truly is, okay? Because everything they do is under deception. Every way they even relate to each other is under deception. See, us men, we don't do that. We got a problem, we go up to the other guy and we say, you're a piece of shit, what you said was wrong, whatever. They don't do that. Women don't do that. They are not direct. Everything is not substance, but style. And everything is hidden, and everything is appearances and a facade. And what they're mainly concerned with is how they look and the avoidance of shame. I don't think men are very afraid of shame. Okay, you know, we did wrong. We acknowledge it. life goes on, we learn from it. I was a dick or whatever, I made a mistake, I was stupid, whatever. We acknowledge it, most of us, to quite a large extent. Women don't do that. That's why they're never wrong. It never happened. Anything they do that's dirty is shameful, so it gets shoved under the rug, right? Completely under the rug. Previous relationships become non-entities. They don't exist any longer, and everything is hidden. Everything is secretive. Lied about, downplayed, and the true identity of a woman is rarely known. So that's why be proactive, get out there. The one thing there's two things about going monk. One thing I like very much, and the other thing I don't like that much. And the thing I like about going monk is just the vengeance against women in general, where you are actually preventing them, you are starving them from the joy of destroying men by simply not even acknowledging them. Okay, and you're also taking away the possibility for them to meet their biological determinism. You are starving them of that, and I think it's a very effective vengeance against women. It's the most effective, and you're also guaranteeing that you will not be affected and negatively affected by anything to do with the deplorable aspects of female nature. They simply cannot get to you. Now, if you're going to do that, we collectively as men need to let women know that that is exactly what we're doing. We need to expose women to themselves. That is the worst fear, to see themselves in the mirror and to see what they truly are like, what their behavior and personality is like. Because they are so used to viewing men naturally as being scum, we have to show them that men are not scum. Men are naturally born to trust women, love women, protect women, unfortunately, and serve women. And women take this instinct and step all over it and crush it. Okay? And we have to show women their true nature, because they don't see it. To them, it's totally natural. They have no clue what they're doing. All right, because they're always the victims. Being the victim is also a nice ploy to hide their behavior and to take accountability away from what they perpetuate constantly. So what the monks need to do at the same time is to inform women of what they're doing and why. Women are very stupid in this way, because women know nothing about male nature. And the reason they don't is because they don't give a shit. Because it's too threatening if they did find out about male nature, because they would know that their whole outlook on males and their whole attitude towards males is false. And it's only there to protect their own image. All this negativity towards males and the false impression about males is all there to protect themselves and to make themselves look innocent, moral, pristine, nurturing, all these cliches about female nature that really doesn't exist. In fact, in a lot of ways, it's the complete opposite. So the monks, if you're going to avoid women, nothing wrong with that at all. I think that's cool. But at the same time, let every woman know what you're doing and why. Because that's how we're going to get ahead. That's how we're going to gain. So I like the fact that there's this punitive aspect of going monk. I like that very much. But I don't like the fact that to actually run away from women and to run away from their ruthlessness and their lack of emotional investment in males, to run away from that. I don't like that part. I don't want to run away. I want to fight them. I want to expose them. I want to make them accountable. I want to judge them. If you look in your own relationships or past relationships, or if you look at the relationships of other men that you know, or your parents, or whatever it may be, you will notice that the other fear that women have, and they will actually terminate any relationship, no matter how great the guy is, how great looking he is, how successful he is, whatever. If you consistently judge them and make them accountable, they cannot handle that. That is death to any female. Judgment. That's why you hear these sappy love songs that are directed, that are sung by manginas and directed towards the female market. Is that all of me, all of you? Basically, you must love me the way I am. That's what a woman says. Don't ever even judge me for the slightest thing. I can judge you, but you can never judge me. And perfect imperfections and all this garbage about females, just giving females a pass for everything. Don't give them a pass for anything, all right? And these MGTOWs, they fuss over if a woman drops her papers or her binder or her purse or whatever, and it's really wrong for a guy to lean down and pick it up. And there's nothing wrong with that. Pick it up. Be courteous. Be chivalrous. However, at the same time, I mean, those are small things. Who cares about that? But at the same time, find out who they are. Find out their past. Make them accountable for every little thing. Make them accountable for if they come to you and they start bad-mouthing their partner. Look at it in the detail and say, why did you do that to him? You do understand that it's all your fault what happened, right? You do understand. You don't understand how males function. Look what you did. Look what a scum you were. Do that to a woman. And that'll stop her in her tracks. And that's how you fight female nature, because we're only fighting one thing, and that's female nature. All right. Instead, for the male, there will be lots of personal and sexual sacrifices for him, and none to speak of for her. He will enter the act of nesting with her, for which the male human animal was not designed for. The male human was not designed for nesting. Regardless of what you've been taught, regardless of what your parents and your aunts and your female classmates and other men naive men have taught you, you are not made to nest. You are forced into it. It is the equivalent of a free animal being snagged and caged indefinitely and also expected to work, serve, and then put at someone's disposal, and then release the fruits of his work for the disposal of someone else. So basically, you're giving everything up that you own to a female and to her offspring. That's why traditional marriage is called slavery, and accurately so, because that's exactly what these men had gotten into for centuries, thousands of years, right? Ever since Adam and Eve, right? Nothing has changed since Adam and Eve. Male and female nature is immutable. It is not going to change. That's going to stay the same. No amount of feminism or hip fashions or new outlooks about the world is going to change the very basic biology of female and male nature. He then will be demeaned and required to ask permission for virtually everything he does in life. Okay? All to fulfill her desires primarily. It'll be the very most important thing for him to accomplish is to fulfill her desires first. That'll be the priority. When you break down relationships to its fundamental purpose, it's all for her and nothing for him. It's now become a cliche, but the male is entering into slavery economically, emotionally, sexually. Whatever he produces will be forfeited. He will not be able to fulfill his emotional needs of having parallel relationships with a variety of women, and he will be indefinitely suppressed in his biological need to persistently inseminate different females. Ideally, what a man is designed to do is to have parallel relationships, and I've talked about this in a previous video. And men function very well under parallel relationships. Men are then, this is the key to not be vulnerable to any one female and what they will do to you. And trust me, they will fucking crush you. And they will crush you internally, from the inside. Not from the outside, from the inside. And in order to avoid that and protect yourself, the only way, I think, is to have parallel relationships. So if one female is abusing you, no problem. You will simply go on to the other, or the third, or the fourth, or the fifth, or you will have two at the same time, if you can manage it. Now, it's not easy, but that is the natural state of being male. Now, women don't want to hear that. Oh, no, 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 no. And I've had many conversations with women, and I told them this. And they want no part of it. They don't even want to know. They close their ears. Oh no, because it's totally against what they want to achieve. It totally dismisses their whole fantasy about meeting their biological direction. And it totally turns the world upside down knowing this about men. Oh, and I was talking about how men are interested in female nature. Even the average traditional male is going to be interested naturally in what makes a woman tick. Women are not. Women are not. You cannot do these videos for women because they simply will not even look at it. They'll simply dismiss it completely as non-essential because it's totally against what their agenda is. So basically, I'm going to repeat this again. Whatever the male produces will be forfeited. He will not be able to fulfill his emotional needs of having parallel relationships with a variety of women, and he will be indefinitely suppressed in his biological needs to persistently inseminate different women. Now here's the key thing. So everything the man works for will be taken from him, because it will not be for him, it'll be for the family. Everything to support the family. Fuck the family. Fuck the family. All he's going to get is disrespect, derision, mocking. Okay? The same thing as you see in commercials these days, right? Or TV shows or movies. Okay? That's how a man's going to be treated, and he's going to have to give up all his resources, the fruits of his labor, for the family who don't give a fuck about him. All right? So this is how I feel about traditional marriage. I am not in a I was, but I am no longer in a traditional marriage. There's a very important point, is that men are made to feel guilty and to be ashamed for so-called, the dreaded word, selfish. He's so selfish. He's so selfish. And we become very sensitive to that word because we are made to look sick, pathological for being males. And the beauty of MGTOW is it frees the nature of men and returns it to its natural state, where man should and deserve to be selfish. If you take only one thing from MGTOW, and that being that being selfish is your first priority, you deserve it, be proud of it. Now, what you want to do after that is your business. But first, be selfish. Men do not want to raise and nurture children. They are forced into it out of sexual desperation to be with a woman and from social pressures and expectations. Men do not relate to their offspring the same way their mother does. Men relate to them as independent humans and not part of their biological constitution. Men don't really need or want offspring, and they certainly do not want the offspring of another male. This is a really funny thing. I play around on dating websites every now and then, and it's amazing reading some of these female profiles where they, it's filled with single mothers. I mean, these are nasty, used up, miserable women who pretend to be something that they're not, and and they have 1, 2, 3, whatever, 4 kids, and they figure that some guy is going to actually come in that situation and accept their kids. He's going to love their kids. Fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit. What kind of an idiot of a woman actually believes that? You have no chance in hell, baby. Nothing. No guy's going to come in and is going to take your kids and make them their own. What kind of fucking idiot would do that? That's what I want to know. Dream on. Dream on. You have no chance in hell unless you get some kind of a really wimpy goof. And you wouldn't want that guy anyway. Trust me. No sane guy is going to want your kids. No one's... I was with several of these single mothers, and especially one in particular. She had 4 kids. She was very hot looking. She had 4 kids, but and I told her, nobody's gonna want your kids. Nobody. Get that out of your head. And those kids are not gonna want the guy. They're not gonna accept the guy. They're not gonna let him into their life. It's a very difficult situation, and for these women to actually believe that that's gonna happen, fuck. Are you ever fucked up? And they're looking for a guy like that. Oh, isn't that wonderful? The other thing I wanted to mention is, sexually speaking, a woman doesn't give up her sexuality to be in a relationship, but a man does. All right? Women are not built for parallel relationships. They're built for serial relationships. They do one, they end it. Doesn't even exist. They go on another one. They end it. Doesn't even exist. Nothing exists in their past. Nothing. Women don't want shame. They don't want to be dirtied. They don't want to be dirty. That's one thing. You got to remember that. Women are not out to get dirtied. And because any future relationship is not going to give them the respect to give them any type of commitment ever again. They're going to be whores, and that's why they hide their past. And some of their pasts are just incredibly dirty if you really get to know them, and they pretend to be clean. And it's so insincere, it's just fucking unbelievable. Men don't do that. We men, we brag about our past. Oh yeah, I fucked 15 women. We even embellish it, right? But women can't do that because they know that their relationship value is going to drop so fast to such a low that they will never ever be able to secure any male for anything other than temporary sexual contact. And women don't want that, believe me. We talked about why women, what they want is they want commitment, because once they get commitment, they automatically got everything that you've got, right? They've got your resources. They've got your time. They have your loyalty, your fidelity towards them. They have everything if they can secure your unmitigated commitment towards one woman. So that's what they want to get. And so they're not out there to dirty themselves up, because then I'm going to come along and I'm going to say, did you have any past relationships? Oh, you did, huh? Okay, and what'd you do? Well, you're very good at sucking cock. You've got experience doing that, don't you? Yeah. How many cocks did you suck? Oh, not that many. Yeah. You're kind of like the second. Oh, really? So you've had 25 boyfriends and you've only sucked the cock of one? I highly doubt it. So their value just drops like a fucking roller coaster. Okay, and they know that. So everything is secret, but I drag it out of them. And if I find out that they were with you I don't want them. They're dirty. And as Louis Marco says, can you imagine all the gooey shit inside of her, dude, bro? And I agree with them. Okay? Anyway, this is getting very long as usual. And I'm not even through it. So, so let me just keep going here, and I'm going to end it pretty soon. Men don't really need or want offspring, and they certainly do not want the offspring of another male. Ugh! No matter what kind of a type B, well, if you're a real type B type of male, you're going to do that. You're going to be soft, and you're going to play along and be nurturing. You're going to basically adapt a female personality. And for any type A guy, oh, that's a no-no. That's a no-no. As long as they have a revelation and no female nature, objectives, and sexual strategy, then men are gonna look at women in a completely different way that they ever did in the past. And they're gonna be hyper vigilant. Anything she does, he's gonna notice. Okay? Basically, game over. And that's why with the monks or any other MGTOW, you gotta be proactive. And you gotta show them. Game over, baby. Game over, girls. Game over. You cannot do this anymore. You know why? Because you're busted. We busted you. We know more about you than you will ever care to know about us. We know you from inside and out. We know exactly why you're doing what you're doing. Love? Ha 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 ha. What a big fucking joke that is. Your love. You're not even capable of love. Oh, yes, I am. I'm the most loving person. No, you're not. You're incapable of it. You're biologically incapable to feel what a man feels. And we know that. And that's how we treat you. We know what you're going to do. We know how this is going to end up. No matter what a fraud you are, no matter what a scammer you are. So that's why, I guess the moral of this, I didn't even answer this viewer's question because I just got into this animated discussion about all kinds of other topics, but this is kind of a chit-chat thing. And the moral of this video is to make women accountable, judge them, and show them who and what they are. Show them. You already know through MGTOW, you already know what they are. You have to show them, and you have to know, and they're going to be frightened. They're going to say, my God, oh, I've been busted. You don't get a pass. You don't get a pass, girl, for anything. Because I know exactly why you did that. I know exactly why you did that. I know exactly what you did to your husband. I know exactly what you did to your previous relationship. I know exactly why you did it. You may not even know it yourself because your female nature is so disgusting that you don't even see it. It's just natural. It's instinctual for you. But let me tell you exactly what you did. I'll tell you exactly what you did. There was nothing wrong with your husband. There was nothing wrong with your boyfriend. And look what you did. And you know why you did it? I'll tell you why you did it. This is why you did it. Everything has to do with your female nature. So, proactive. Get out there and fucking get them bitches. And make them answer for what they're doing. And show them what the purpose is behind everything that they do. And what they claim their purpose is not what the true purpose is. hold a mirror in front of them and say, this is what you look like. This is what female nature looks like. Do you like yourself? Forget about the makeup. Look at yourself. Look at yourself, what you really look like and what you are. This is what you are. And they're going to start crying. You know why? Because you're correct. You're correct. And they've been busted, and you give them no pass. Game over, baby. Game over. Look how many men you've destroyed in your life. Game over. Thanks for listening. See you next time.